it's so wonderful to be here in the chapel and imagining you all at home worshiping with us together. I am blessed with a wonderfully kind and passionate family, and we have many enjoyable and engaging moments together. I have also felt hurt or rejected by my family and assume that I will at some point again. I also know that I've hurt people in my family and unfortunately think that will probably happen again sometime in the future. Still, I recommit to practicing showing my family how much I love them again and again, through compassion and honesty, forgiveness and responsibility. Come with all of those that you have covenanted with together. Hold them with us as we worship together today.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
Each week we come together to share what's on our hearts and listen to the joys and sorrows in our community. Drew and I will continue to reach out via email to ask families to share with us. And also feel free to take the initiative and send us an email if you would like your joys and sorrows read aloud. This week we are sharing from the Borrell family, Jamie, Bridget, Grace, Liam, and Sean Say. Our joys include Gracie moving up to Duluth in early September to continue her education at Great Lakes Academy of Fine Arts. Liam is in the middle of a fun baseball season, and Sean is enjoying golfing. Bridget and Jamie just celebrated their 20th wedding anniversary. Congratulations! And Bridget just attended her grandmother's 98th birthday party. Sorrows include mental health struggles, the constant stress of not being able to shake hands, hug, or grab a door handle without freaking out. And from the Darst Rice family, Brooke, Mark, Wells, and Walker share. Our joys are that Wells got his first clipless bike pedals. We got to see a good friend outside. We made delicious ribs on our smoker. And we are celebrating Griffin, our dog's 4th gotcha day last week. Sorrows include COVID. That quarantine is driving me crazy. Thinking of Minneapolis public school kiddos that do not have support and resources to thrive in the coming virtual semester. And from the Macy Hall family, Michelle and Evie share. Joys are the gardens here at Unity and at our home because they're doing really well. We have so many veggies. A mixed bag of sorrow and gratitude is that the St. Paul Public Schools are going to be virtual, at least for now. We are glad our schools are trying to keep people as safe as possible, and it's hard. Evie really misses their friends. And a few extra stones we put in for all the joys and sorrows that were not spoken aloud today. Will you now join with me in prayer? Holy One, we give thanks for ongoing education and protocols that are intended to keep people safe. But we also grieve that not everyone has the resources, support, or the opportunity to be able to attend school, whether virtually or in person, and thrive during this complicated time. We are grateful for the summer weather, being able to play sports and games outside, seeing friends from a distance. And we continue to be challenged by mental health struggles, loneliness, and the realities and limitations of living through a pandemic. Please, oh, Spirit of life, help us to be courageous and vulnerable, to lament and feel our frustration fully, and also to realize and remember how blessed and loved we are and grow our love out in the world, even now, especially now. Thank you for gardens and harvests that remind us of abundance and growth that come from hard work and struggle and joy and careful tending. May we be the loving and intentional gardeners we with and for one another. May it be so, and amen.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Kids, your parents have come a long way. If you think they're iffy now, you should have seen them before they got you. Winging it, right? Parents, you know what I mean. Before I had kids, I was so scared about whether I could do it. So much responsibility, so much work, so much to do. Well, I think my kids would say, "You're okay, Dad." And I think I have done okay, but it has been a journey. From nothing, knowing nothing, to really kind of handling things as they come. Because see, kids, as you change, we have to change. As you grow, we have to grow. And like a lot of adventures, this one is not all fun, right? There are times when it's been hard. I want to tell you a story that I used to tell my kids, Atticus and Harper, about a little kid who is doing that thing that we've all probably done at some time where we've said about someone who loves us. How much do you love us? How far will that love go? And this story is actually an Inuit story that takes place in the Arctic Circle in the coldest dead of winter, in a time where if the sun comes out at all, it only comes out at midnight for the briefest period of time. And it is about a little girl who we know as Dear One, who lives in her house with her mother. And one night, there they are. Fires are going. Dear One has her furs on, and she's wrapped in her blankets, and she's playing with her doll. And her mother is preparing dinner. And the little one is comfortable and cozy. But she also knows that the life they live, that her people live, is a hard one. And that the climate is brutal. And that things are always tenuous. And so she wonders, how do we get through this? And she goes up to her mother, and she pulls her mother's hem on her dress, and she says, "Mom, do you love me?" And almost without a thought, Mom says, "I love you. Yes, I love you." And Dear One says, "Mama, how much do you love me?" And Mama stops for a moment and says, so much I love you." And she goes back to making dinner. And Dear One is happy with this, but then she starts to think, there's a bigger question here. Mama, she pulls on her hem again, and she says, "How long will you love me?" And Mama says, Dear One, puts down her spoon, "Dear One, I will love you until our canoes can go off into the sky. I will love you until puffins can howl at the moon. I will love you until the stars in the sky become fish for us to eat." And Dear One says, "Wow, that's a long time." that's good. And she feels good about this. And she goes back to play with her toys. But then, after a little while, she thinks, there's a bigger question here. And here's the question. And she stumbles back up to Mom, pulls on that hem again and says, Mom, what if I was carrying our eggs from the chickens? And I was trying to be careful. And I was walking across the floor, but I slipped. And I dropped them. And they all broke. What then? And Mama said, dear one, I would be upset, because that would be awful. But I would love you. And dear one was happy with this. This felt pretty good. And she started to go back to her toys, and she thought, that's amazing. It's so amazing. I could do something, but Mama would still love me. I could do something that wasn't good. She thought more about this, and she thought, this gets to even a deeper question. She got back up, and she went back to Mama, and she said, Mama, what if one day I ran away? What if I ran away and I joined a pack of wolves and I went to live with them in their cave? What then? And Mama looked at her and said, well, dear one, that would be a big surprise if that happened, and that would be scary, and I would be worried, and I would still love you and miss you. And dear one was happy with this. And she thought, that's amazing. It is amazing to think that love will be there, even if I did something like that, if I really changed like that. And the more she thought, there will be more change in my life probably, and I wonder what then. So she went back up to Mama, and this time Mama put down the spoon and knew, we have something here that dear one is really asking me. Dear one, what? What is it? And the little girl says, Mama, what if I changed? What if I not just ran away, but what if I became a muskox? What if I became a wolf? What if I became a walrus? And Mama said, well, that would scare me, dear one. It would scare me. It would be very surprising. I would be at a loss. I would be worried. It would be such a change. But I would love you. I would absolutely love you. And dear one was reassured by this again, and feeling really good, and still though thinking, there is still more to this. I know there is more that I need to ask. She goes back up to Mama and says, Mama, what if I changed into something like a polar bear? What if I became the biggest, meanest polar bear? What if I had sharp, sharp claws, huge teeth, and what if I actually came after you? What if I scared you and chased you? Yeah, what if I was the most frightening thing you ever thought of? And Mama said, I'd be scared. I would really be scared. I would be shocked. I would be surprised. I would be all those things. But dear one, I would know that inside that polar bear, that was you. That was dear one. And I love you. And I would love you. And this is the happiest thing that dear one hears, and she jumps into her mom's arms, and they hold each other, and they snuggle each other's faces in each other's chests, and they laugh, and they giggle, and they probably cry. Because they know that even though this is fantastical, some of these things will come to pass. And they will continue to be each other's dear ones, loving each other through it all. Let's sing a song.
Love the God of peace has tried.
other day that it feels these days like our lives are on pause, like it has stopped. And yet we know it has not paused. It is going on. And we are wondering, as we go on, as we choose to go on, as we need to, we're wondering what will give us the strength? What will keep us going? It's love, okay? It's love. Love is what is going to keep us going. What will keep us energized and supported and ready to move is going forward with hearts open to each other, knowing that we are each other's dear ones.